Have you ever felt like your life is stuck in a repetitive loop? With no matter how much you strive, nothing ever truly changes? Perhaps you've tried everything, meditation, positive thinking, visualization, but it seems like the world just doesn't respond in your favor. What if I told you that the very key to bending reality itself lies in one simple yet powerful act: repeating a certain phrase 100 times. This may sound simplistic, but don't let the simplicity fool you. When you understand the true power of repetition, intention, and how your brain and body respond to them, you'll realize that this seemingly small action can have profound effects on your life. The truth is, reality isn't as rigid as we think. In fact, it's much more fluid than we're often led to believe. It bends, it shifts, and it responds to our thoughts, emotions, and energy. But to understand how this happens, we must first dive into the science of the mind and how repetition can reprogram your brain to create a new reality. The relationship between the mind and body is profound and inseparable. For most of us, it might seem intuitive that what we think can affect how we feel physically, but the reality is far more intricate than we realize. The mind and body communicate continuously in a complex feedback loop, influencing each other in ways that go beyond the surface of everyday experience. To truly harness your potential and create the life you desire, it's essential to understand this connection in its full depth. Every thought, belief, or emotional response you experience sends powerful signals to your body. These signals trigger biochemical reactions that affect everything from the release of hormones to the expression of certain genes. When you think a thought, your brain doesn't just process it in isolation. It sends electrical impulses that travel along neural pathways to your body, producing feelings and physical responses. These responses are the body's way of interpreting the signals from your mind, and they directly influence your actions, behaviors, and how you experience the world. In this light, your emotions are not isolated internal states. They are physical events. When you feel fear, joy, or anger, your body reacts accordingly. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense, or you might even feel a knot in your stomach. These physical sensations are tied directly to your thoughts and beliefs. Over time, the body becomes conditioned to certain emotional states. For instance, someone who is constantly worried may experience frequent tension in their shoulders or tightness in their chest, because the body has learned to respond to that pattern of thinking with a specific set of physical reactions. This is why shifting your mindset can have such a profound impact on your health and well-being. When you change your thoughts and beliefs, you are not only influencing your emotional state, but also directly impacting your body's physiological responses. This mind-body connection is deeply rooted in the concept of neuroplasticity, which is the brain's remarkable ability to change and adapt. Neuroplasticity refers to the brain's capacity to form new neural connections throughout your life, reshaping its structure and function in response to your thoughts, actions, and experiences. It's this very ability that allows you to rewire your brain and create new patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving. Neuroplasticity is a fundamental principle of human growth and transformation. When you repeat a thought, behavior, or emotional response, you reinforce the neural pathways associated with that pattern. Think of the brain as a vast network of interconnected highways. Every time you think or feel a certain way, you're driving along a specific route. The more frequently you travel that route, the deeper and more defined the road becomes. Eventually, this path becomes well-worn, and it becomes your default route. This process is why habitual thinking patterns are so powerful. If you've spent years thinking negatively or reinforcing limiting beliefs, these neural pathways are deeply entrenched in your brain. They've become your default mode of operation. On the flip side, the beauty of neuroplasticity is that the brain can also change, adapt, and form new connections. By consciously focusing on new thoughts or behaviors, you can begin to carve out new neural pathways that support your desired way of being. The practice of repetition is at the core of this rewiring process. When you repeat a phrase, affirmation, or intention, you are effectively sending a signal to your brain that this new idea or belief is worth strengthening. Over time, the repeated thought becomes more automatic, and the associated emotions become more familiar. This is how change occurs at the neurological level. Your brain begins to wire itself for new beliefs, and as you continue reinforcing those beliefs, they eventually become ingrained in your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is a powerful force in shaping your reality. It governs roughly 95% of your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. By the time you reach adulthood, many of your beliefs, emotional responses, and habitual behaviors are deeply embedded in the subconscious. These patterns were formed over years of experiences, conditioning, and repeated thoughts. The subconscious operates below the level of conscious awareness, and it's responsible for most of what we do without thinking. In many ways, your subconscious mind is like a tape recorder, constantly recording and storing everything you've ever experienced. These recordings influence your current thoughts, actions, and emotional responses, often without you even realizing it. When you decide to make a change in your life, whether it's to cultivate a new habit or adopt a new belief, your conscious mind may try to take charge. However, this is where the challenge lies. The subconscious is running the show, and it's much stronger than the conscious mind. That's why change can feel so difficult. The conscious mind, which only accounts for about 5% of your total mental activity, is often at odds with the subconscious programming that controls the other 95%. Here's where repetition comes in as a critical tool for transformation. When you repeat a thought, intention, or belief enough times, you start bypassing the conscious resistance and begin reprogramming the subconscious. The more you repeat a phrase or focus on a desired state, the more likely your subconscious mind will start adopting it as truth. Eventually, what was once foreign becomes second nature, and your subconscious mind shifts to support your new reality. This process is how you begin to break free from old thought patterns and recondition your mind to support a more empowered way of being. Through repetition, you can replace limiting beliefs and habitual emotional responses with those that align with the person you are striving to become. As the new neural pathways form, the body also begins to respond in kind. Your emotions and physical sensations start to align with this new state of being, and your reality begins to reflect the changes you've made internally. The power of repetition lies not just in its ability to help you rewire your brain, but also in its potential to align your body with your new thoughts and beliefs. You see, the body is not simply a passive receiver of signals from the mind. It is an active participant in shaping your reality. The body is like an unconscious mind, constantly storing emotional and physical responses to the experiences you go through. It becomes a repository for your past experiences, and these stored emotions and beliefs are reflected in your behavior, actions, and even your health. When you consciously choose to repeat a positive affirmation, intention, or phrase, you are not only affecting your brain, but also sending a powerful signal to your body. For example, if you repeat the phrase, "I am worthy of success," you are not just programming your brain to believe this to be true, but you are also instructing your body to align with this belief. Over time, your body will begin to act as though success is already part of your reality. Your posture will change, your energy will shift, and you will begin to make decisions that reflect this new belief. The more you repeat this phrase, the deeper it gets embedded into your subconscious mind, and the more your body begins to express this new truth. Think about the impact of consistent repetition. When you engage in a regular practice of repeating a positive affirmation or mantra, it becomes more than just a mental exercise. It becomes a way of being. Your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors begin to align with the new belief, creating a ripple effect in your life. This is how your internal world shapes your external reality. As you repeat empowering phrases, your energy shifts, and the universe responds accordingly. Now that we've explored the fundamental role of repetition in rewiring the brain and body, let's delve deeper into the science behind it. As mentioned earlier, neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to change and adapt in response to experiences and repeated stimuli. The more you repeat a thought or behavior, the more the brain forms new neural connections to support that pattern. To understand this better, let's break down what happens at the neural level when you engage in repetition. Every thought you have generates electrical signals that travel along neural pathways in the brain. These electrical impulses are the brain's way of communicating and processing information. When you repeat a thought or belief, the electrical signals strengthen the neural connections associated with that thought. In essence, you are teaching your brain to think in a new way, and the more you repeat the thought, the stronger the neural connections become. This process of strengthening neural connections is akin to building a muscle. Just as lifting weights repeatedly strengthens muscles over time, repeated thoughts and behaviors strengthen neural pathways. The more frequently a thought or belief is repeated, the easier it becomes to access that thought or belief, and eventually it becomes automatic. This is why repetition is so crucial in rewiring the brain. It gradually shifts the neural pathways to support your desired way of being. But repetition does more than just change the brain's neural wiring. It also changes the brain's chemistry. Each time you repeat a positive affirmation or intention, you release neurotransmitters such as dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins, which are associated with feelings of happiness, reward, and well-being. These chemicals flood the brain, reinforcing the positive feedback loop and making it easier to sustain the new mindset. This creates a powerful cascade of neurological and biochemical changes that help you move from where you are now to where you want to be. Finally, let's explore why repetition has such a powerful impact on your reality. The key lies in the concept of the quantum field, which is the underlying energy field that connects everything in the universe. According to quantum physics, everything is made of energy, vibrating at different frequencies. This includes not just physical matter, but also thoughts, emotions, and even beliefs. When you change your frequency, when you alter the energy you emit, you align yourself with a different set of possibilities. Repetition is the tool that helps you shift your frequency, allowing you to manifest the reality you desire. By repeating a phrase or intention, you are sending out a signal to the universe, altering the energy field around you. As you focus your thoughts and emotions on your desired outcome, you begin to vibrate at the frequency of that outcome. Your brain and body start to align with this new vibration, and the universe responds by rearranging itself to bring that reality into your life. This is the essence of manifestation, changing your internal energy to create change in your external reality. The beauty of repetition is that it allows you to synchronize your thoughts, emotions, and energy with the future you want to create. By repeating a phrase or affirmation 100 times, you are not only focusing your mind, but also tuning your energy to match that new reality. As your energy shifts, the quantum field picks up on your new frequency and begins to manifest the circumstances, people, and opportunities that align with your vibration. The more consistently you repeat your phrase, the stronger your energy becomes and the more powerful your ability to shape your reality. At first glance, the process may seem deceptively simple. You repeat a phrase 100 times. But anyone who is truly engaged in personal transformation knows that the real magic does not lie in the mere repetition of words. The true power comes from allowing the phrase to penetrate every part of your being, your thoughts, emotions, and most importantly, your body. This is the pivotal shift, creating a new state of being. Our identity is often shaped by the beliefs we hold about ourselves and our place in the world. These beliefs form the core of who we are and determine how we respond to the challenges and opportunities life presents. Identity isn't static, it is dynamic and can evolve when we consciously decide to shift it. But a new identity is not simply a change in the way we think or talk about ourselves. It is a fundamental restructuring of how we experience life, think, feel, and act. When we talk about shifting your identity, we're talking about more than just changing your self-talk or adopting positive affirmations. It's about stepping into a new version of yourself, one that embodies different thoughts, emotions, actions, and, importantly, a different way of interacting with the world. To understand how a new identity works, it's critical to consider the mind-body connection. The mind is powerful. It creates thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions that shape our reality. However, the body is not simply a passive recipient of these mental processes. The body is constantly responding to the signals the mind sends out. Think about it. How do you feel when you're anxious or stressed? Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense, your breathing becomes shallow, and your body may even experience physical discomfort. These physical responses are not merely reactions. They are deeply connected to the mental state you're experiencing. The body acts as a mirror for your mental and emotional states, and conversely, your mind also reflects what's happening in your body. This is why shifting your identity requires not just a mental shift, but also a physical one. When you repeat an affirmation like, "I am worthy of success," you're not just telling your mind a new story. You are sending a signal to your body to begin embodying that belief. It's not enough to simply think, "I am worthy." You must feel worthy, move as though you are worthy, and align your body with this new state of being. This is what allows the shift to occur. For example, if you believe you are worthy of abundance, your body should begin to embody the posture, energy, and confidence of someone who already has abundance in their life. You should stand tall, breathe deeply, and move through life with a sense of certainty, because that is what someone who is abundant would do. The brain is incredibly adaptable, and through the practice of repetition, we can rewire our neural pathways. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections, plays a critical role in this transformation. Every time you repeat an affirmation, you are strengthening neural pathways that align with your new identity. When you repeat a phrase like, "I am worthy of success," it doesn't simply reside in your conscious mind. Over time, the repetition sends signals to the subconscious mind, the part of you that controls habits, beliefs, and automatic responses. Your subconscious begins to take these new affirmations seriously, slowly replacing outdated beliefs with more empowering ones. You are literally rewiring your brain to create new patterns of thought and behavior that align with the new identity you are embodying. The shift happens not only in thought, but also in feeling. As you repeat the phrase and allow yourself to deeply feel the truth of the words, your body begins to respond as though this new reality is already true. As you continue this practice, your new state of being becomes more natural. It feels more familiar, more accessible. You begin to approach life's challenges not from a place of fear, doubt, or limitation, but from a place of certainty, empowerment, and alignment with your new self. Rome wasn't built in a day. This timeless phrase serves as a reminder that lasting change requires patience, persistence, and daily effort. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. It is a process that unfolds gradually, with each step contributing to the whole. In the journey of shifting your identity, consistency becomes your greatest ally. Consistency is what binds transformation together. It is the force that turns a single thought or affirmation into a new belief. As we discussed earlier, the brain is capable of neuroplasticity, but this process takes time. Each time you repeat an affirmation, your brain begins to form a new neural pathway. But a single repetition is not enough to create lasting change. It takes multiple repetitions over time for those new pathways to become strong enough to replace old patterns. In fact, research shows that it takes about 21 days to form a new habit. But forming a new identity is a deeper process that requires even more time and consistency. The more often you repeat your affirmations, the more deeply entrenched your new identity becomes. Over time, the repetition will become ingrained in your subconscious mind, which will then begin to guide your actions, reactions, and behaviors. To achieve this consistency, you must make your practice a daily ritual. Just like brushing your teeth or eating meals, the repetition of your affirmations should become something you do without thinking. By making it a non-negotiable part of your day, you signal to your subconscious that this is important. Set aside time each day, preferably in the morning or before bed, when your mind is most receptive, to repeat your phrase. Create a space where you can be undisturbed and focused. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and repeat your affirmation 100 times. As you do, allow your mind to visualize what it would feel like to already embody this new identity. Feel the emotion of living this new reality in your body. It is this daily practice that begins to build momentum. The more consistently you practice, the stronger the neural connections grow, and soon, the identity you are cultivating will feel like a natural part of you. Remember, transformation is a long-term endeavor. You are not looking for instant results. You are planting the seeds for future growth. Trust the process and know that even on days when it feels difficult or you don't see immediate results, the repetition is still working on a deeper level. Just as a seed takes time to sprout, your new identity is growing in the background, slowly but surely. The power of repetition and consistency is undeniable. But what does this look like in real life? How do you take these principles and apply them to your everyday experience? Here are some practical steps to help you implement this process and begin seeing tangible results. The first step is to choose an affirmation or phrase that truly resonates with your desired identity. This phrase should reflect the person you want to become and align with the life you wish to create. Here are some examples of powerful affirmations. I am worthy of success and abundance. I am healthy, strong, and capable. My life is full of love, joy, and fulfillment. I am confident, fearless, and unstoppable. Choose a phrase that speaks to you deeply and that excites you. The more emotionally charged the phrase is, the more power it will have in transforming your identity. It should be specific, actionable, and aligned with your core values. Consistency is key. Set aside time every day to repeat your chosen affirmation. Whether it's in the morning as you begin your day or before bed as you wind down, make this practice a non-negotiable part of your daily routine. The more you do it, the more automatic it becomes, and the deeper it embeds into your subconscious. As you repeat the affirmation, imagine yourself already living the reality you're creating. Visualize what it feels like to be the person you want to become. See yourself achieving your goals, feeling confident, and living a life of abundance. The more vividly you can imagine your desired reality, the more powerful your practice will become. Repetition alone is not enough. You must also embody the affirmation. This means aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with your new identity. If your affirmation is about success, act as though you are already successful. Carry yourself with confidence, make bold decisions, and take actions that reflect your belief in your worth. When you begin to embody the energy of your affirmation, your reality starts to shift. You will notice that you naturally begin to attract opportunities, people, and experiences that align with your new state of being. Your thoughts and actions become congruent with your new identity, and your external world will reflect that. Transformation is not just about changing your thoughts and feelings. It's also about aligning your actions with your new identity. If you affirm that you are worthy of abundance, take steps to create abundance in your life. Open yourself up to new opportunities, whether through learning new skills, networking, or actively pursuing your goals. Aligned action helps reinforce the identity you are cultivating. If you're affirming health, take care of your body. Exercise, eat well, and prioritize your physical well-being. If your affirmation is about success, take daily steps toward your goals, no matter how small. Each action you take reinforces your new self-concept and brings you closer to embodying your desired identity. The final piece of the puzzle, and perhaps the most crucial step in the process of transformation, is trust. This involves trusting not just the actions you're taking, but also the greater process, the journey itself. Trusting that what you're doing is working, even if results aren't immediately visible, is vital to the ultimate success of your transformation. It's easy to feel disheartened when we don't see immediate changes. However, this chapter is all about learning how to let go of that need for instant gratification and to trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. When we begin to let go of the need to control every outcome, we open ourselves up to the possibilities of miracles. Yes, miracles. The universe doesn't always respond in the way we expect, but it always responds. This is where the real magic lies. Trust is the key that allows us to step back and let life unfold in a way that may be better than we could have ever anticipated. But before we can fully let go, we must first understand the true nature of trust, why it's so powerful, and how we can implement it in our lives for lasting transformation. Trust isn't something we simply have or don't have. It is a dynamic, evolving process, one that requires us to actively cultivate, nurture, and practice. To trust the process means to surrender to the flow of life, knowing that everything is unfolding according to a plan that we may not fully understand yet. This requires faith. Faith in the unseen forces working in the background. Faith in the fact that you are doing the right things, and most importantly, faith in yourself and your ability to navigate challenges. When we talk about trusting the process, we are acknowledging that transformation takes time. Change doesn't always happen on a linear path, and the results we desire may not appear in the exact way we envision them. But trust means that we continue to believe that the seeds we are planting through our actions, thoughts, and affirmations are growing even when we can't see the immediate evidence of their growth. One of the most challenging aspects of trust is patience. We live in a fast-paced world where instant gratification is the norm. We can order food, shop for clothes, and communicate with people across the globe, all at the click of a button. But deep, lasting transformation isn't something that happens instantaneously. It requires time, consistency, and most importantly, the ability to wait without getting frustrated or disheartened by what seems like a lack of progress. Patience doesn't mean passivity. Rather, it is the ability to keep moving forward even when the results are not immediately visible. It's about understanding that the most meaningful changes take time to manifest, and that those changes often come in ways we least expect. When you trust that the process is working, you give yourself permission to let go of the need for immediate validation or proof. Let's consider the example of planting a tree. When you plant a seed, you don't dig it up every day to see if it has grown. You trust that with proper care, the seed will eventually sprout and develop into a tree. But it takes time. In the same way, your transformation is like planting a seed. It needs nurturing, patience, and trust that over time, it will blossom into the reality you desire. Trusting the process is not just about self-reliance or believing in your own abilities. It also involves trusting the unseen forces at work in the universe. There are laws of nature, energy, and the quantum field that are constantly at play, whether or not we are aware of them. These forces have a profound influence on the direction of our lives, even when we don't fully understand them. One powerful example of this is the law of attraction. This universal law states that like attracts like, that the energy we put out into the world attracts similar energy back to us. When we trust the process, we are aligning ourselves with this law and the greater flow of energy in the universe. The more we align our thoughts, actions, and beliefs with our goals, the more likely it is that we will draw to ourselves the people, opportunities, and circumstances that can help us achieve them. But this requires patience and trust. The universe may not always give us what we want when we want it. It may not give us the exact outcome we envisioned. However, if we trust that everything is happening in the way it is meant to, we open ourselves up to receiving the perfect outcomes for our growth and success. Sometimes, the universe's timing is far more precise and powerful than our own. The challenge with trust often comes down to fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, and perhaps most deeply, fear of letting go. Letting go means surrendering control, and this can feel incredibly uncomfortable, especially if we have lived much of our lives trying to control every aspect of our existence. But the truth is, Control is an illusion. The more we try to control every outcome, every detail, the more we create resistance to the flow of life. When we surrender, we are not giving up. Instead, we are giving ourselves permission to flow with life rather than against it. The process of letting go involves stepping into the unknown with trust and faith that the universe will provide the experiences, lessons, and opportunities we need for growth. To illustrate this, consider the metaphor of a river. When you try to swim against the current, you exhaust yourself and make little progress. But when you surrender to the flow of the water, you find yourself effortlessly carried downstream. In life, when we release the need to control every detail, we allow the current of life to carry us toward our highest good. Trusting the process means relinquishing the illusion of control and embracing the natural flow of events. Letting go also means releasing our attachment to specific outcomes. Often, we have a particular vision of what success looks like, and when we don't see it manifest in the way we expect, we begin to doubt the process. The key to this is understanding that true success isn't about achieving specific outcomes. It's about the growth and evolution that occurs along the way. When we let go of rigid expectations and allow ourselves to be open to whatever the process brings, we create room for even greater opportunities to emerge. This might mean that the path to your goals will look different than you anticipated, but it will still lead you to your ultimate destination if you trust the journey. Trusting the process is not a theoretical concept. It is something that can be applied to real-life situations. There are countless examples of individuals who have experienced transformative change by letting go of control and trusting the process. For instance, take the case of Oprah Winfrey. Oprah faced numerous setbacks early in her career, including being fired from a television job and enduring personal struggles. But she didn't give up. She trusted that the path she was on, though difficult at times, would lead her to the success and fulfillment she desired. Her story is a testament to the power of trusting the process, even when immediate results are not evident. Another powerful example is J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Rowling faced rejection after rejection from publishers before her book was finally accepted. During that time, she trusted the process, believing in her ability as a writer and in the value of her story. The result was one of the most successful book franchises in history. These examples illustrate the power of trust in real-life situations. When you trust that you are on the right path, even in the face of challenges or delays, you open yourself to the possibility of experiencing incredible success, often in ways you couldn't have predicted. Ultimately, trust is about more than believing in the universe. It's about trusting yourself. It's about having faith in your own ability to navigate life's challenges and learn from each experience. When you trust yourself, you acknowledge that you have the wisdom, resilience, and resourcefulness to handle whatever comes your way. You trust that the decisions you are making, even when they don't seem to lead to immediate results, are part of your greater growth. You must also trust your intuition. Our inner guidance system is constantly at work, offering insights and nudges that can guide us toward our highest good. When we trust this inner wisdom, we stop second-guessing ourselves and begin to move through life with greater ease and confidence. Trusting yourself means listening to that quiet voice within, the one that tells you to take a leap of faith or to hold steady when times get tough. Trusting the process is intimately connected to faith, faith that everything is unfolding as it should, even when we can't see the full picture. Faith requires us to release the need for immediate results and to understand that everything is happening in divine timing. When we have faith in the process, we stop doubting our ability to manifest our desires and start believing that what we are doing is enough.